Once again, I am live. Welcome to Building Connections, where I talk to nobody for a couple of minutes until somebody shows up. Uh, we got our first victim. Hey, Rach. That's funny. Hey, Catherine. I'm on time tonight. Well, actually, I was a minute late. My this clock that I go by say it says 8:59, so I technically had a minute left. But I looked up at my phone and it said, "No, you're late already." So here I am. Hey, Kelsey. Hey, Julie. Hey, Miss Patty. Hi, healing living. Healing's living. Healing is living. Okay, we got it. How's everybody doing tonight? I hope everybody had a great weekend. By the way, it's over. My weekend was good. My weekend was good. It was my daughter's birthday yesterday. We had a little birthday party for her. That was great. She was able to come down from school for a few days, and she's heading back up tomorrow. So, hey, Al, at all from Australia. How are you? Good to see you. If you're on here for the first time, welcome. My name is Jonathan Lewis. I am a psychic medium. And I like to go live once in a while to talk about the work and demonstrate it as well, and answer questions, anything to do with metaphysical or anything to do with mediumship or energy work. That's what I'm here for. I'm good, starry eyed. I'm glad to hear you're okay too. See if I can get this mic a little closer. I don't want to get the mic too close because then we're going to lose people. Uh, hey, Samuel. Hey, Chris K. I will. Thanks, Beth. I will send her birthday hugs. I gave her about 4 or 5 tonight before she left. Um, All right, we're gonna get right into questions. This is great. Well, I first of all, I want to say thanks for being here. We're up to almost 50 people already. We average around 100. So if you're watching on the outside, get in here. Hey, Daylina Gould. Got it. Yeah, you tell them, Barbara. No falling asleep during the live. We won't have that tonight. It's Sunday night. We'll be okay. We'll be. This is why I'm going live at 9 on YouTube and not like 10 because I will lose half of you when that happens. But at least on here you can watch the replay, which is good. Uh, Well, I'm glad you're happy to catch it, Jen. Jean, sorry. Okay. So we're gonna go right into some Q&A, and then I'm gonna try to do a reading on here, okay? In the comment section. No, I don't have to worry about anybody snoring on me over here. That's true. Well, it would be a little suspicious if they were typing in snoring symbols, right? So that would be a kind of a giveaway. Rebecca, did you post the group reading I was in from February? Rebecca, if you were in a I don't post the group readings. Was that a Rebecca? Was that a private group, like a Zoom group? Yeah, it was a private group. So I don't post those because that's different. I feel like when we're on social media, everything I do here is obviously free and it's also public. So if somebody decides to go live on here, I have every right to do what I want with it. So if somebody's falling asleep, I'm posting it. Same thing as on TikTok. But in a Zoom group, that is a paid event, so that is kind of private. I do not post those. I'm sorry. I'm not even going to answer that question. Actually, it was a statement, but that's funny. Hello, Amazon. I'm laughing at the statement somebody made, which I'm not going to repeat, but it's pretty funny. Some of you were asking about me, asking on my TikTok. You leave comments on my posts, And people are saying like, "Hey, can you do another one with your dad? Can you do a post with your dad?" So I'm gonna try to see if I can get a post in with him at some point. Like I said last time, I have so many moments of him with my mom that I absolutely would love to post, but I never have my camera ready. So my father's hysterical when he doesn't know he's being filmed. Hey, Trainer Wins. Hey, Taylor. Okay, we're up to almost 80 people. That's good. All right, so Catherine, my brother was rather mean in this world. Can I look forward to him being that way if he ever came through? So he could come through with an attitude. It happens a lot when I do readings. People come through with a little bit of an attitude, but it's to kind of let us know it's them, though. That's the only reason. Once we've established it's them, that kind of goes away. But they can come through sometimes very anxious. I can feel very anxious people coming through. I could feel very like docile, almost reserved and pulled back kind of energy. If that's somebody's mom who was like that in life, and that's how she's coming through. It kind of like the whole point of it is to be able to describe them factually. So even if it's a feeling and an emotion or behavior or a personality trait, it has to be accurate, right? If I said, "Oh, this mom's very loud and she's very boisterous and she's very pushy energy," and you're like, "No, my mom was kind of reserved and pulled back," it doesn't really match up, right? So it's got to make sense, and that's why they'll come through that way. Also, by the way I talk in a reading, people can tell sometimes I get a little ornery. Like I'll start cursing, I'll start saying things a certain way in a private, and I catch myself. I'm like, "Was your dad like a real cursor?" Oh my god, he was like the worst, you know. So their personalities can definitely come through in a reading, but don't worry about him being nasty or mean on the other side. He's no longer like that. That is a human trait characteristic that is derived from pulling off of the two motivators in this world, love and fear. So anger, assholeness, that can come from both. So when you when you get there, he's not going to be like that. I promise. He's only going to be coming from a place of love. Let's see. Hey, Linda. Good evening to you as well. Uh, oh, that's a good question. Delena Gould. Have you ever had a reading that changed your own personal beliefs about something? I'm not going to say there's any one reading that changed my beliefs, but I will say that over time, compounding of readings, getting certain patterns that play out in the readings, being able to shift how I look at the work in a really big way. I can't say there was any one reading that maybe said, "Oh, now I don't believe in this," or "Now I believe in that." It's never one thing. It's a lot of different readings that kind of come together when you need it to. It's like pulling on the, what I need to, like, kind of rely on when it comes to information. So I could say that over the years, my belief system has changed tremendously, again, based on numerous readings and information that's come through. But I can't say there's any one that struck me. Not only that, some people have the ability to remember their readings. I do not, unfortunately. I do not retain. It's very rare that I can retain a reading. So when I'm channeling, I'm just like blurting stuff out. I'm just saying things, blah, blah, blah. And unless something's like really weird or out of the ordinary that I would remember that one moment, I it kind of is a blur for me when I'm done. So I always tell people, don't count on me remembering anything because I really don't remember stuff. But a lot of people do. I'm not one of them. Hey, Wildfire. Oh, a bunch of people just popped in. Hey, Stacy. Okay. Can't answer that one. Oh, I'm sorry, Taylor. Taylor just said my dog had to be put down last week, and I'm having a hard time with guilt. How do I know he's okay on the other side? Oh, that's a great question. So this is a great question because I'm sure it applies to just about everybody on here. Um, I'm going to say that you probably helped to assist the dog over if you're feeling guilty, because that's usually where the guilt comes from. If there's like assisting with the crossing of the pet, and I'm going to tell you that whenever a pet comes through for me, and well, you know what? Before I shoot off my mouth, let me just see. Taylor, did you help the dog to cross over, or did you have to make a decision to help the dog cross? Yes, I did. Okay, that's why. All right, because nobody ever has guilt when something happens to the dog. But if you have to assist in the decision making, that can sometimes lead to a lot of guilt. And all I can tell you is this: anytime I've had a dog come through that says in my head, "Thank you," that's the first words I get from a pet. Like I'll hear "Thank you." When I hear that, I know the person I'm talking to helped cross that dog over, and they're already feeling guilt around it. So it's an automatic given for me. So I'm letting you know that's what they come through with first, because I'll tell you why. In that moment, you knew that you had to do what was best for that dog. We would all love to keep our dogs. We would love to keep our pets. We would love to take them home, right? And just keep them. We'll just hold them. They'll be fine. We'll just hold them and we'll rock them every day. We'll do whatever we have to keep them alive. But you knew in that moment that dog needed to cross. And you assisted in helping that dog to do that. That means that you put that dog's importance above yours. You did what was right for the dog. So never feel guilty about that. And I'm talking to everybody here. Never feel guilty about helping a pet to cross because we all know we want to keep them. We would love to keep them, right? We don't want that to happen. Don't ever feel guilt around it because you did what was right for the dog. You put the dog first. You put it above your own needs. So that's an automatic win for you on the other side, as far as I'm concerned. But again, they'll come through with things like "thank you" in the beginning, or they'll talk about stuff that's going on around the house. The dogs come through just as clear as people do. So I hope that helped a little bit, Taylor. And I'm really sorry for your loss. Here's the funny part. I could do a reading for somebody and get like 5 of their relatives come through, and they're like, "Yeah, that's my dad. Yeah, that's my mom. Yeah. Oh, that's my aunt. Yeah, she's the one with the leg problem." And all of a sudden, like the dog comes through and like, "Oh!" It's like I could almost film it every single time. It's like a big sigh of like the dogs coming through. I've had the most stoic people completely break down in a reading when their dog comes through, and it's just amazing the effect they have on us, right? So it's unbelievable what some people do with pets and how they take them for granted. But I know anybody here who's had a pet that's passed, you miss them forever. I still have a big, huge picture of my last dog from 2018. She passed away, and that's up on the wall, and that's not leaving my house. So let's see. Yeah, everybody loves pets. I was a little, I was always a little like leery about people that don't like them. Like, I can understand if you don't want pet hair. I can understand if you don't wanna, deal with an aspect. Like, you could say, like, "Oh my god, I love dogs. I just don't wanna deal with it. I don't wanna deal with the aspect of it." But when people like, "Nah, I don't like dogs." I'm like, "What happened to you when you were a kid that you don't like dogs? Like, what seriously happened to you? Like, who beat you up? Who hit you with, like, a dead carcass of some kind when you were 3, and now you're actually petrified when you're something with fur? Like, what is it that makes that happen?" So I'm always a little leery around that. It's like, mm, uh Darth Vanna, people that don't like dogs were usually bitten. Well, Darth, when I was in 4th grade, I got mauled by a very large dog that grabbed me right in the shoulder, right here from the front, so I could literally stare at his eyes, and shook me around like a rag doll. And I ended up getting stitches down in my armpit and stitches over my shoulder. Um, and I was afraid of my own home dog. We had a German Shepherd at home, just for a night. I was a little bit like, skittish around the dog because of the shock value, or I said the trauma comparing, getting bit by a dog like that. But I was fine after that, you know? I was fine after that. And that was a scary, scary thing. Like everybody left. That was the scary part. Like there was only much older people there. And this dog just turned around and just got me in the shoulder, and just everybody took off. It was like the craziest thing. And I'm standing there like getting shaken around like a rag doll. D. Lutsky, what about making a decision about a human passing? Same exact thing. If your decision is made with love, there is no wrong. Just know that there is no wrong. Now, if you're standing there and you're going like, I really could use a new car and I'm low on funds, and there's that tube right there. So if I can just, Like, if that's why you're making your choice, I'm gonna say, "No, that's not a good thing." Definitely not. But most people, when they make a decision around somebody's passing, it's because it's the best thing for them and for the people living. There's never anybody that ever came through and said, "I cannot believe you crossed me over. Like, what the hell were you doing?" That's never happened, ever. They're fine when they get to the other side. Like I say, guilt is something that we hold on to here. It is a human trait. They don't carry that on the other side. So if they don't carry ego and pride and greed, they're not going to carry guilt either. So no issues there. Okay. Those are not easy decisions to make. They know that. They know as a human, we have to deal with those things that pull off of the two motivators. So trust me when I tell you that they're okay with it. You have to be okay with it. If you're okay with it, then it's fine. You can be sad about it. Just don't go into the guilt phase of that you had to do that because you know you did. Like no matter how many times that would come up, right? You would still have to make the same choice. That's when you know it's not something for you to hold on to. Okay? Good questions. Oh, that's a good question too. Oh no, I lost it. Sorry. Darth Vanna, can someone change their mind about I don't know if I can say that. Oh, I guess I could say that on here, right? It's not an issue. I'm not on TikTok. Can someone change their mind about suicide during the process? In other words, can their soul cross into another dimension and either start over or enter another point of existence? I don't feel that. I feel like closure and then starting over, closure and then starting over. So whether somebody leaves this world naturally or not unnaturally, it doesn't really make a difference. So once you leave this world, you kind of close the book on this life here. Therefore, the part of you has to go back to the soul. Remember, guys, I'm always going to say this as far as I'm concerned. This is not the only life we live at all. I do believe in reincarnation. I do believe the fact that we repeat lives until we learn our lessons or till we keep learning our lessons. But if somebody chooses to leave this world on their own, I don't believe they, immediately go into somewhere else or, reincarnate somewhere or anything like that. I do believe that they just go back to the other side. And it's kind of like, unfortunately, a lesson lost. And I know it's horrible to say that, but we're here to learn stuff and we're here to get through things. And we have to hopefully fight to do that. And some of us lose that battle. It's that simple. And I don't condone it, but I understand it. You know what I'm saying? I can definitely understand it, why some people would get to that place. I did a reading for somebody one time, and their brother had taken his own life, and he came through in the reading and was kind of explaining what was happening. He had a really bad tinnitus, like he got sick or about something. He got sick one time, whatever, and then this thing happened where it was just constant ringing in his ears, and that's what it was. It was like drove him crazy, and he described it as putting a pot on his head, like a big pot, and then hitting it with a spoon 24/7. And I went, that's a lot. That's a lot to handle. You know, no breaks, 24/7, bing, 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 like a pot on your head. He said, "You'd want to do the same thing." And I said, in my head, I'm going like, "Yeah, you're right." Like I got it. Like I understood it. But whether it's mental health or physical health or whatever, I understand why some people would go that route. I don't condone it. I think you should stay as long as you can to learn whatever lessons you need to learn. But also, I'm not in that position, so I can't make that statement, right? So everybody's got their own stuff to deal with. Oh, uh, oh, oh, I'm sorry, Taylor. Amazon Ria 83. When you read, do you have people that didn't believe when they were human? Do they get loud and pushy? No, it's kind of nice. A lot of times people will come through that in life did not believe in this work at all. So it doesn't matter if you believe in it or not. It's not like you're being held, like you go up to, you go to the other side and they're like, whoa, whoa, hold on. What do you think you're just going to cross over here now because you're a non-believer? That's religion. Okay, that's religion. That's how religion works. This is spirituality, completely different. We have to kind of separate ourselves from that programming because in religion, if you don't believe, if you don't, sacrifice your life, you're not going to the other side, right? But as a human, you could not believe at all. But when you do get to the other side, you're all knowing again. You are aware of everything you've done in the past, other lifetimes, the information that you've had and held on to. So it's just this lifetime where you said, "Oh, this is a bunch of BS." But when you get to the other side, you understand the whole big picture again. So it's kind of like going like, "Oh man, I really screwed that one up, didn't I?" Not a big deal actually. But yeah, a lot of times those people will come through a lot in readings. They'll actually become the mayor of the reading. They're like, they bring me around and like my thing is I'll see them now holding a microphone. And when somebody's holding a microphone, that means they're running the reading. Because I couldn't tell sometimes if somebody else was coming in and taking over or if they were just stopping in to say hello. And if they lean the microphone over and they'll let people say hello and come in, but I noticed they don't let go of it. So if they're not letting go of the microphone, I know that they're the ones still running the reading. Uh, Catherine St. John, family that you didn't grow up with and didn't really know, but have passed. Could they come through and how would you know them? Perfect question. Okay. You have the ability, or I should say, they have the ability of coming through at any time, at any point that we're tethered or connected to your family in this lifetime. You could have 4 or 5 generations back come through. I don't know if you guys have ever watched Andy Ray read, but she actually pulls in like generations of people. And her biggest thing is about having information in front of you. So the way that you would know it's them is by having that information in front of you, like knowing who your great great grandparents were, knowing what they did for a living in some way, or having the genealogy done so that it can come through. Anybody tethered to you has the option of coming through if you know who they are. There's no point in them coming through if you can't validate it. So if you can validate it, they can come through and say hello. Now, one of the examples I always give around this is I had somebody come through. And by the way, I was wrong. I used to say it was 5 fingers, it's four. So it was a great, 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 great grandfather that came through in a reading I did. And they wanted to know, um, everybody said, well, how did you know it was him? And there was a story about him. His name came up and he talked about drowning. And that's how he came through in the reading. And they said, yeah, sure enough, their great, 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 great grandfather fell off of one of the old clipper ships, like the old Yankee clipper ships back way in the day, and fell off in the wintertime and fell through the ice and then drowned. And that's the only reason why they knew it was him, because that story carried down through generations. So he was able to come in and say hello. So yes, you can have anybody in your family come through. I know you want to talk to mom, you want to talk to dad that just passed, but you have to be open to the fact that your great uncle on mom's side of the family who was married in can literally come through in a reading. So always pay attention to your information and knowing it. Okay. I can't answer that one either. Oh my gosh. Catherine, you got that info? That's great. Somebody like you would have a good reading, to be honest, because you would be able to validate information as it's coming through. And they might come through with a date. They might come through with a name. They might come through with how they passed or something like that. Something that stands out around them that kind of allows them to come into the reading. And as long as we acknowledge that, then we can get more information around it. So that's good. Yeah, the more you know about your family, the better your reading goes. If you're very if you got your blinders on because you just want to talk to your mom, that's the worst way to go into a reading. You got to be really open to who's coming through for you. It's like lightning striking. We have no control over who comes through. I will ask. You see me do it on here. I'll ask. I'm like, okay, we'll see if we can, get mom to come through if you want to talk to mom. But I'll always say, I might not get mom. So be open to whoever else can come through. Have I been kind of lucky? Yeah, I've been kind of lucky with that. It's not too bad actually. It's very rare that I say like, oh wait, this is grandfather first or whatever, but it does happen. Good, Catherine. I'm glad. Jerose 14. Do you have any events coming up? Wow, it's like I paid you to say that. It's funny you should mention that. I do have a Zoom group coming up on April 30th. There's only 2 seats left. So if anybody wants to get in that, go check out the Stand Store link in my bio. That's on April 30th. It is a Thursday night from 8 to 11 p.m. It's a 3 hour Zoom group event, mediumship only. Okay. So if you want to get read or have your family come through, and listen, we have a good time on those. I don't know if anybody on here has been in one of my Zoom groups, but we have a good time. I have a little saying that, uh, death doesn't have to be miserable. We can have fun with it too. And it's nice to see family coming through and helping other family members to come through as well. It's a cool thing to watch. So if you're interested in that, go check it out. I do have another one up. I changed the date on it. I had it up originally on a Saturday, but I have one in May 24th. It's on a Sunday. See, I haven't done a Sunday group and I don't know when, but I was like, you know what? There's probably a lot of people that are off on Sundays who can't do it during the week. So let me try one. So I put up for again May 24th, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. It's on a Sunday. Okay. And there's still 10 tickets in there because I haven't sold a seat yet. I just put it up. So if you're interested in that, go check it out as well. All right. I'll be happy to see you there. 10 people, Marie, maximum. The last one was eight because there was supposed to be nine, but somebody didn't show up. So we only had eight. But I stay until I read. So as long as people are willing to stick with me, we keep going. Uh, Jen Ben Tim, what is your favorite aspect about being a psychic medium? What's my favorite aspect? Well, I guess it's like, I would love to say, oh, it's about helping people and all that. That's the typical answer. Of course, that matters, but I don't know. My favorite aspect about it is having the opportunity to learn more and more about like what we are and what this is all about. You know, through the information that comes through in readings. That's how I'll get, my answers for things. I'll be like, oh, that makes sense. So learning more and more, because one of the things that people always say is like, you could make a lot of money in this world, but it doesn't give you everything, right? I know I've built houses for a lot of wealthy people, and they're like the most miserable people on the planet. They really are. They're just miserable people. And you always say, like, wow, they should be happy. They could buy whatever they want, and they're not. So what are they missing? What are they actually missing? They're missing the understanding of what life's all about. We're here to have fun, but we're also here to learn lessons, right? And to move things forward. And when we're not learning our lessons, well, things don't kind of go our way. And when they don't go our way, we get miserable. So, to me, it's kind of cool to be able to do this work and get more and more connected to it and understanding it better and better every single day and be able to know, like, oh, this is how this has to lay out, or this is where I need to put my energy, or this is what I'm not supposed to be doing moving forward. Because you learn those lessons, things get much easier. Cool. All right, we're up to 93. I appreciate you guys being here today. Again, if you're on here for the first time, my name is Jonathan Lewis. Go subscribe to my channel, please. I've been saying I've been going to go on YouTube for years, and I've never done it. And this is, then I started doing like sporadic appearances on here, and then I just finally said, you know what? Every Sunday night, if I can, don't hold me to every one, but I'm going to go live at 9 p.m. and just kind of like shoot the shit with you guys and go back and forth about energy work and mediumship and stuff like that. I'm not a very spiritual, you know, guru kind of person. I'm very grounded and I like to look at things in a very factual kind of way. That's how I do my readings. So that's how I like to do the work as well. So again, my goal here is to help teach and help people to understand the work better. This way, when you do go have a reading with somebody, whoever it is, it'll run smoother for you. Um, oh, thanks, Beth. Beth says she looks forward to my Sunday nights. That's cool. Ms. Ange says, I'm subscribed and got notified. Awesome. That's great. Let's see. Okay, I'm gonna answer this, but I'm not gonna give the answer because I don't know it. Chase horror? Chase horror. Chase, I guess chase horror. Can you tell us what the afterlife is like based on the spirit communication you've received? I would love to tell you what the afterlife is like. Um, I would say to you that anybody who talks about the afterlife, like they know what it's all about, is probably full of shit because there's way, way too much information for any one of us to comprehend in this lifetime. We are just humans, and I hate to say it that way, but we are. We're just humans. We can only contain so much. Um, Many years back when I was doing a live group somewhere, I remember after the group, it went really, really well. And I was wide open. I was just like really excited and pumped up about the work. And I said, to my guys, I'm like, what's it like over there? Like, give me an idea. Like, what is it really like over there? And they show me a bottle of water. And I'm like, okay. And it's like, they're like, this is like you. This is your brain. This is how much it can handle. 16 ounces of water. I'm like, okay. And then they showed behind me Niagara Falls. And they said, this is what we have to offer. You can't fit that in this bottle. So like, don't even bother trying to understand it. That's really what I got back. Don't worry about what we're doing over here. Worry about what you're doing here. You guys can't even handle what you're doing. Don't worry about what we're doing. That's kind of the answer I got back. It's almost like very like it was like depleting. I was like, oh, all right, well, that's deflating. It's the word. But the reality, it's true. When people talk about the other side, I'm like, where are you getting that from? Because I've done a lot of readings, and yes, we get a feeling of how certain things go because they'll tell us like, but it's more about how we work or how we function, like how we pass and what we do when we get to the other side, or how we go back to our hole on the other side. But they don't really talk about the other side because it's way too complex for us. Another reference I got for that one time was they showed me a tree. This is a good one. They actually showed me a tree, and it's almost like they were taking the camera down in front of the tree, down to the like, the root system. And they showed me like, this is what we know about the other side. It's like the single tree. We look at it's an oak tree. That's it. But when you go underground, there's like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, probably thousands of roots that cross and intersect. And every time they show me a root that was crossing over another one, they put a little ball of light. So it's like they were showing me like how much information intertwines and intertangles and crosses over each other on the other side that we wouldn't understand it. Like the root system of the other side is so big that we're better off just looking at the tree and going, that's a nice tree. That's a really, really nice tree. That's it. We're better off doing that. We'll never understand it. I would love to take credit for these analogies, but they're not mine. They give them to me. People say, oh, that's a great analogy. I'm like, yeah, well, I wish I came up with it. Let's see. And again, I know I said it a few times, but I know there's other people coming in that are new here. Welcome. I appreciate you being here tonight. I will be going live on Sunday nights here on YouTube to talk about everything metaphysical, mostly mediumship and energy work. That's kind of like my thing. I see a couple of questions on here about astrology. Not my thing. Not my thing. I go to astrologers for that. I don't have the patience for it. So I know the basics. The basics are like some days you shouldn't get out of bed. That's the basics. That's what I go by. Hey, Tracy. Trey. Jay Gamble just said that analogy makes me feel so small. Yeah, you're absolutely right. It does. It made me feel small too. But at the same time, it was kind of cool because I mean, to know that like our greatest interpretation of what the other side is not even close to what it is. That's kind of cool. That's really kind of cool when you think about it. Arkansas Pete. That's the whole point of it. David, David just wrote, all your info helps me to think my mom is okay. That's why I'm on here. Your mom's absolutely fine. That's really what my guides tell me all the time when somebody comes through. It's like they're fine. We get stuck with all the crap. And that's really the truth because we have to deal with all the, like I said, all the things that, deal with fear. Fear only exists on this planet. So it does not exist on the other side. So they don't have to deal with that kind of stuff. We have to deal with all the anxiety and the pressure of things and how everybody talks to everybody else and who's nice to who and who isn't and what's up their ass and why they got to be like that and that's a human thing. That's not they don't have to deal with that on the other side. Kathy says hello to everybody. Catherine. Okay, are all dreams we have about loved ones who have past visitations? That's from Beyond Spirit Dog 11. That depends on the type of dream you're having. So, rule of thumb number one is if somebody is visiting you, it will always be positive. Our guides will not allow spirit energy on the other side to come through unless it's positive. It's got to be positive for us. They will not allow it. Okay. It's like a no no. So, if you do have a dream about somebody who's passed, number one, it has to be positive. Number two, you usually will remember that dream from the day you've had it to the day you die. It will not change. It will not alter. It'll be exactly the way it was when it happened. It'll be etched into your brain. It's almost like they're saying, "Hey, I'm here, give you a couple things, and then like a slap in the face and wake you up." And normal, regular dreams, even if there's people in them that we know, we'll forget them. Like they don't stay with us. It's like a fleeting moment. Like you remember when you're brushing your teeth in the morning, like, oh, I had a dream last night. And then by lunchtime, you're going like, what was that dream again? You just don't remember. It's gone. But a visit, you always remember it. It will never leave your brain. So that's the two things that you have to keep an eye out for. If you ever dream about anybody that's negative or sad or well, let's just say this. It can feel sad to us when we're done because we miss them, right? But if we have a horrible dream about somebody or an angry dream about somebody, we have to try to figure out, or I would say interpreting that. Oh my God, my English is horrible tonight. Interpret, interpretate, interpreting that would be a way of saying like, well, what does that person represent for me in my life? What does that person represent for me? Because that energy might be coming in to kind of help guide you along your dream. Like, hey, this person represents past for you, or this person represents, you know, something you're doing in your life. You have to figure out what that person represented or does represent in your life because you can have dreams about living people as well, right? That doesn't mean they're in your dreams. It just means that person represents something for you in that dream and you have to figure out what that is. But a visit, like I said, you'll remember it from the day it happens to the day you pass. And listen, just so you have for context, I've been doing this work for 20 years. I've had two visits. That's it. Actually, I had three. I had three visits, two from one grandfather and then one from the other grandfather. That's it. That's all I've had in 20 years. So don't think it's like something you have to have, and I'm telling you right now, squinting your eyes and squeezing your fingers as hard as you can does not make it happen. So don't worry about it. If it's going to happen, it will. But they come to us a lot when we're awake as well. We just don't trust it as much because we don't trust our clairsentience. We don't trust it. Feelings and emotions are a big way of communicating with them, and we always feel like it's our thoughts, like, oh, I'm just missing them, or I'm just feeling them in the moment, or but we're not. We're actually they are showing up. They're saying hello. We're just not accepting it because that's what we do here. We just block everything. We're kind of stupid when it comes to that. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Oh, Beyond Spirit Dog 11. When you get a hug you can feel in a dream visit, is that real? Yeah, that's real. Sure, it's real. That's kind of cool, actually. I'm a little jealous. So yeah, don't disregard that or take it as like, oh, what am I trying to make up here? That's if you get a visit like that and somebody gives you a hug in the dream and you remember that hug, that is gold. Don't ever let go of that. All right, good questions. Good questions. I'm gonna do a few more, and then I'm gonna do a reading. Okay. Sources. I'm just gonna call you sources. Source. S.A. Rinfo. Do you mentor anyone? No. And I'm gonna tell you why. And this is why I have an issue with some of the schools that are out there or the programs that are out there. When you mentor somebody, that is taking on a very big responsibility when it comes to the work. It really is because how you teach them karmically could blow back on you. So if you're out there teaching because you need to make, rent that month and you're, sucking people into your, institute to teach them the work in some way, and you're charging them whatever amount of money you're charging them, which I don't care what it is, you charge whatever you want. But the whole point is karmically, you are responsible for that person in this lifetime when it comes to their work. You take that on. So if that person takes that work and does something really negative with it, you kind of pull in you kind of hold on to a little bit of that karma. You can't make people do anything. You can't. But if your abilities are in the right place and you're in balance, you're going to know when somebody's coming into your class that that's not a good person to teach. You're going to know that. And then your decision or your choice in that moment is to say, well, do I keep teaching this person and take their money because I need it, or do I say, no, I'm sorry, this class is full. You can't come in here. Because if somebody's really good at what they do, they'll be able to discern whether or not that person should be taught. And that's the truth. But if you're just worried about pulling people in and teaching them, no. So to me, mentoring is not something I'm interested in doing. I've taught workshops before. I might do another workshop someday. I did a couple of really big ones. I've done two my entire career, but they went well. But I might do another one someday. So that's a good question. Thank you. And again, my answers are to try to help you to understand like um, the work a little better and where it should be coming from. Miss Patty, please do a workshop. I might do one. We'll see. We'll see. I feel like if people are coming from the right place around it, I have no problem doing it. Some people just want to like get involved with the work, and that's why they'll do the workshops, and that's the wrong reason to do it. No, Christine, I don't see myself writing a book. It would just be a vanity book at this point. There's so many books out there. There's so much literature out there on this work. I don't know. I don't really have a drive to do a book. Not my thing. Of course, I have one coming out next week. No, I'm just kidding. Rach wrote it perfectly. I want to learn from my own life, from my own mental health, and to better my own life. Exactly. Well, thank you, Samuel. You know what? I'll contemplate a workshop. We'll see. We shall see. Uh, and again, I'm just going to put this out there. I have a Zoom group on April 30th. There's only 2 seats left in it. I know it's almost a month away, but there's only 2 seats left. So if you think you want to be in that, go check out the link in my stand store. All right. And I'll see you there. And then I put the other one up on May 24th, which is a Sunday. So I'm doing a Sunday morning, 11 to 2. Um, I might be in my pajamas. It's 11 to 2 on a Sunday. That's the first one I've done on a Sunday ever. I don't think I've ever done a Zoom group on a Sunday morning. So if anybody, I just was thinking like, wait, not everybody has the same schedule I do. Some people can't be up on a weeknight late. They just can't do it. They have to get up really super early. So I was like, hey, let me give people the option to maybe go on a Sunday morning, you know? So 11 to 2 on a Sunday. Probably be really good. If you want to check that out, go check it out. It's again in my the link in my stand store. Let's see. I read a lot on Sunday morning. Source said I think you will like a Sunday morning. I do a lot of readings on Sunday mornings. I did readings last Sunday. No, sorry, yesterday was Saturday. I did readings yesterday and Saturday, but I do readings a lot on Sunday mornings. I literally 11 to almost 4 o'clock. I'll do readings on Sundays, and those always go really well. Everybody's like chipper in the morning, like on a Sunday. Sometimes at night, everybody's a little edgy, so it's you know Taylor, do you give personal readings? Yeah, all week long, Taylor. Just go to the stand store link in my bio. Just click on that too. You'll see private readings up at the top. Just click on that. It'll take you right to my private readings. Matter of fact, I just put up readings for June and July. I'm sending out a newsletter. If you're on my mailing list, which is also on my stand store link, I'm sending out a newsletter on the second. It's scheduled for April 2nd, and I have all the new reading dates up there. Those do go kind of quick. They do. So if you want to have a private reading with me, please just go check on that. I do it in blocks. I do a lot of readings. So there's a lot of dates up there. Okay. My work life. Yeah, he never sleeps. I feel like I don't sleep. That's funny. Do you remember who remembers the old Dunkin' Donut commercials? When the guy's like, "Time to make the donuts," right? Then he runs into himself at one point. He's like, "I already made the donuts." That's how it feels sometimes. Uh, it's funny. Yeah, just sign up for the mailing list. It's on the Stand Store link, and you'll get my newsletter. You'll also get like information about when I'm doing groups and stuff like that. I have the live events going out probably a week after that. So I don't know what day that is, but it's a week like April 7th or April 8th. I'll have my live events going out as well. So if you're on my newsletter, you'll get those. I'm doing one in on Long Island on September 15th. I'm doing a live event in New Jersey on September 16th, and then another live event in Pennsylvania on the 17th, and then one in Baltimore, Maryland on the 18th. And I'm just going to see how those go. I haven't done them in a while, and if they go well, I'm gonna add more on. I'll go up north. I'll go out west. I'll go everywhere. Catherine, do you have people at work ask you for readings? No, most of the people. All right, so you guys know I build houses, right? 90% of my subcontractors have no clue I even do this. I never talk about it. It's just something I don't do. Um, so it's kind of funny, but you know, because I'll get information around stuff, not mediumship information, but psychic information. And like I'll tell people all the time when I was younger, I used to think I was really smart getting information around things. Like we should do it like this or we should do it like that. And we get our answers. And I'm like, oh, that's smart. I'm a smart guy. And then when I started getting into the work, I almost revisited that time frame and like had a quick chat with my guides. And the answer was kind of funny. It was like kind of like, no, you were actually kind of stupid, getting a lot of help. Yeah, puts things in perspective. My guides do not like ego. So anytime you come from a place of ego, they kind of have no problem pointing out the fact that that's not the place to come from. So no room for that here. Uh, Oh, we got more. We're up to 109, 110. That's cool. Welcome. If you're on here for the first time, don't forget to subscribe, okay? I don't even care if you think I'm full of shit. Subscribe anyway. This way you can watch. I have no problem. Skeptics are my favorite. Uh, I almost blocked somebody by accident. Sorry. Okay. What was the question? Somebody saying somebody had a good question, but I don't know what the question was. Hold on. Let me go back a little bit. Let's see. No, I don't have it. I don't see it. Taylor, I've seen a lot of people on TikTok that seem not to be real. Here's the deal. The honest truth is a little bit of ability can be dangerous. You know, I'm a big believer in Dunning Kruger. Dunning Kruger is a term for people that know a little bit of information that kind of like are dangerous people because they know a little bit. I could tell you this: the more involved I got with this work, the more I realized the less I knew. When you're first doing readings and you're like, I got this right, I got that right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Right. It's the energy you have when you first start out. You're like, and then you realize that the more you're doing this, it's like, wow, I could do a lot better. I can get a lot more specific than that. It's a goal, like try to get not just that, but this, and this too. Like you start to realize that it's, less than you think you do. Um, and it's kind of important to recognize that and know it. So that's how I work. That's how I do it. Thought okay, there we go. Jen, yeah. Thoughts on someone who took their own life and if they have a different review process, like having to watch and see how much ripple pain they caused. Well, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say somebody that took their own life was probably dealing with a lot of pain themselves. And for somebody to get to that point in time where they actually have the ability to do that, that means they've been dealing with this for a long time. So I think what they're going to be reviewing on the other side first is about where they were, maybe what they didn't learn or they missed while they were here. So when their life review, do they have a life review regarding our feelings and emotions too? Absolutely. Absolutely. This is who you hurt in life. This is what you didn't do right. Here's what your actions or the repercussions of your actions caused around these people. Absolutely. They have to learn those lessons. But remember, your life is here for you. The fact that we affect other people is unfortunate, but we do. But your life is here for you. You're here to live your life. So if you decide to leave this world on your own, you're going to be dealing with that on the other side first. That's what they want us to deal with. They want to make sure that we understand like what got us there and why and how. A lot of times when people decide to leave this world, it's not a overnight decision. I've had a lot of people come through in readings, again, based on information I've gotten, that have actually fantasized the idea hundreds of times before they got to the place where they actually did it. And even though the family was clueless about it, they're like, yo, but this came out of nowhere. Nobody knew this was going to happen. Like it was just a shock to the whole family. That's the way to come through it. I have a symbol for that too, by the way. But it's actually two faces that you see in the theater, the smiley face and the sad face. So somebody who's passed will show me that. They'll show me the theater faces. And I know that that person lived technically two lives in one life. So it's designed to let the people know that are living here still, they don't have to feel bad about what happened. They don't have to feel guilty about what happened because they never would have detected it. They never would have known that was going to happen because that person was so good at playing a role of being the person that everybody or they thought everybody needed that when they were by themselves, they were the other mask, the sad mask. So when they were alone, all the the demons in their heads, metaphorically, would come out and they would deal with stuff that they were dealing with in this lifetime. So it's it's very difficult. I don't, I know when somebody takes their own life, that it is a very difficult thing for the people that are here. I had a friend of mine that was a framer years back. Very stoic man, very stoic man. Phenomenal his job, and he had the greatest disposition. He never got angry or mad. He always came from a place of wisdom. You just thought this guy was it. And then he had a surgery. He had a surgery for something on it, and the anesthesia was they had him under anesthesia too long or something, and his arm was in a certain position, whatever. Ended up his arm died. Like his arm was dead. Like he had no feeling in his arm, and he was a framer. So he literally could not deal with anything physical anymore. So they tried to make him a foreman, like they tried to help him out in some ways, but he was just miserable that, he could not use his arm anymore. And I talked to him, I think 2 days before. He called me out of nowhere and just said, "Hey, just checking in, want to say hi," which I found out in later years that that was a very common thing for people to do is like make phone calls and call everybody they know first, before they do something. And he just let me know, like, hey, just checking in, say hi. Hope everything's well. I'm good too. Saying here, blah, blah, blah. Nice to hear from you. It was really cool. Well, you too. Have a great day. All right. Hang up. And then you find out 2 days later that he used a shotgun in an inappropriate way for himself in the basement of his own home. And when you hear that, the first thing that runs through your head is he's got two kids. So the anger comes out first. Like, how could he do that? How could he do that? Like, he has two kids. How could he do that to himself, to his wife and his kids like that? So, I understand that part of it, but my guides have also shown me the other side of it. It's not pretty. The other side of it's not pretty. Like when somebody's in that place that they are willing to actually do that, they are not themselves at that moment. They are out. They're out. They're out of their body. They are not there. So try not to. I'm gonna say try not to take it personally. I know that's ridiculous to say, but please don't take it personally because it's got nothing to do with you. It's got nothing to do with you and everything to do with them and where they're at. So I don't know. That's a little dark. I'm sorry, but it's important to talk about. Hey, CD, welcome from North Carolina. Good to see you. If you guys are on here for the first time, please subscribe to my channel. I do go live here on Sunday nights at 9 o'clock. We talk about everything metaphysical and energy work related. We also talk about certain things, shoot the shit a little bit. Let's see. Yeah, Catherine, it really does. It has absolutely nothing to do with you. When somebody's in that kind of pain, they're not thinking about your feelings. They're not thinking about what you're doing. They're thinking about how do I get to the next day? That's all they're thinking about. How do I get through this day? How do I get through the next hour? Trust me when I tell you, they're in a much worse spot. And unfortunately, we're the collateral damage, but we can't take it on as like, personally. You cannot take it personal. It's only one L, peeps. You got it right this time. Yes, D. Lutsky, do you think we choose our life path before we are born to teach others? We all have a life path that yes, you have your particular life path that you choose before you come down here. But the people that you choose to live your life with also have their own lessons to learn, but they intermingle, meaning like you meet that person for a reason. Or if you have a sister or brother in this lifetime, there's something you're supposed to learn from them. There's something they're supposed to learn from you. You choose your parents before you come down. People will say to me, then why would people choose parents that are abusive? Because there are lessons in there as well. It's unfortunate, but they are lessons in there as well. The hope is that things shift and alter because we all have choice. That's the thing. We all have choice. We have a choice to be an asshole, or we have the choice to be a loving, caring person. We have that choice, regardless of what's happened to us in our lives. We have the choice to either continue on with that behavior because that's how we were treated, or to shift and alter it. That's the decision we have to make. And that does, unfortunately, affect everyone around us. But we all choose this life. And I'll say to people sometimes in reads, like, "Ooh, you choose a difficult life." And they're like, "You're not kidding." And I'm like, "No, it's in your energy. I can feel it." Like you're, the example I use for that, or the analogy my guides gave me a while ago, was if two people were running a race on a racetrack, and the person that I'm reading in their lane is a telephone pole. So when they come around the turn of the track, boom, they hit the telephone pole and they go down. The other person keeps running like they're like nothing's happening. It's like their life's fine, they're just running around the track. And then that person gets up, brushes themselves off, and then continues on with the race. And then they run as fast as they can and they put as much energy into that running as possible to catch up with that other person. Just enough time to come around the track again and then slam, they hit the pole again. So, from the outside view of that, you're running just as fast or just as even as the other person. You're always catching up and you're making sure by the time you get around the track again, you're neck and neck. But your run is a lot harder because you have to deal with all the negativity or all the things that go wrong in life. You're hitting the pole and you're falling down and you have to get back up and then run again. So it's saying like on the outside, it looks fine. Like you're catching up with them. You're running just as fast as they are in some ways, but you know that your life is a lot more difficult. So do we choose that life? We do. Can we shift and alter that in ways? We can. Can we make decisions that change that? Yes. And we don't know what happened in our last lives that bring that energy into this life. So it's very, like I said, very difficult and very intertwined. So it's not just one thing, it's always a conglomerate of stuff that we have to deal with. So, uh, just a normal Malcat. Is the poll at least teaching us something? I'm sorry, I'm laughing. Does the poll at least teach us something, or does the poll have a purpose? Yes, the poll isn't an analogy; it's a metaphor. It's not. You don't actually run into a pole. You know that, right? All right. That being said, the pole is daily life. That's what the pole is. So it's dealing with the difficult things in life and be able to get through it, and still being able to catch up with everything else that's happening. That's the whole point of the poll. Okay. It's there for a reason. Yeah, it's absolutely there for a reason. If things were simple and easy, you're not learning anything. If life is a breeze for you, if anybody's watching this and they're like, "My life's been a breeze, man. I What a blessing. Everything's been so easy." you're not technically learning anything. We learn stuff when things are difficult. I don't care how much every somebody will tell me like they had the best life. I know there's things in that life that they didn't want to deal with. There had to be. There's no point in living this life if you don't have to have challenges and to be able to like, rise to the occasion above those challenges or fail and get the chance to redo them in the same lifetime. But those polls definitely play a role. Uh Jay Rose, how soon after someone's passing do they come through? Anytime they want to. They can come immediately. It doesn't make a difference. If there's ever a medium that's telling somebody, they're not coming through yet because they're in limbo on the other side, or they're not sure what they're doing yet, or they haven't found out where they're going yet, that's all a bunch of bullshit. That just means the medium could not make the connection for you. That's all that means. So don't listen to them, please. Scroll right past that person that says anything around that, and they talk about purgatory or anything along those lines. Absolute bullshit. So somebody can come through immediately after they pass. Plenty of examples of that happen in a lot of groups I've done. Uh, Megan, do you do private 30-minute mediumship readings? No, I do not because I don't think that's enough time. I honestly don't. I'll do a psychic reading in 30 minutes. I have a few of those up, but I will not do a 30-minute mediumship session. That's not enough time. If somebody says, "Oh, your mom's here," yeah, and she's telling me this is great, and that's wonderful, blah, blah, blah. That's great. You can do that in 15 minutes. But when you want to have real factual information coming through, you need the time to be able to break down the reading, like get into the reading, like who's actually coming through, who's talking about what, how do we know it's that person and not this person? So the information has to come through in a way where people can validate it. So back and forth is really important. Like you are a participant in the reading. I don't want people just sitting there writing stuff down. They need to participate. The whole point of doing the reading is so that you can actually validate the information. So it's very important for people to be present in their reading and to be part of it. So for me, 30 minutes is just not long enough. Mr. Jenna Owana. God, I wish we would take that O out of it. Jenna Owana. The other ones on TikTok and YouTube will do that like 5-minute readings, 10-minute readings. Yeah, no, not happening. I'll do it on here. You see me do it on here. I'll do it on TikTok. It's a lot faster. I can do a TikTok reading. I could be like 10 minutes, 12 minutes. But that's just the first part of when I do a private. That is literally how I start a private. That's not a reading. I call these linking. This is me linking up with the energy coming through, validating that they're here. That's all it's for. We can get into a lot more detail in a private reading, but to do a whole reading in 10 minutes, not enough time. Yes, the nuns were wrong, Chris. Freaking nuns. Quick story, okay? I'm gonna tell you a quick story. When I was going into seventh grade, my mom had this great idea of taking me out of public school and putting me in private school. She thought that was going to be phenomenal. Why? Because I had a little bit of a learning disability, I think, or they thought I did anyway. When I was in sixth grade, I think I was just really bored and didn't want to be in school, um, like anybody else. Really, I used to stare out the window a lot, but maybe that's for other reasons now that I think about it. But anyway, um, she wanted to put me into private school, so she put me into a private school first that was literally run by nuns. Now, I'm surprised my mom did that, being that she's fully aware of the fact that when she was in private school with a nun, she got in trouble for chewing gum. And the nun made her put it on her nose, I think it was, I don't know if it was the entire day or for that class. But I know my mom, and my mom had to be totally embarrassed about that she had to do that. But yet, she found it in her heart to actually send me to a school with nuns too. And my first day there, I was putting my books down off the desk and I was putting them down on the floor, lost my balance a little bit. You know, when you like lose your balance because your weight's too much to one side. And I had to drop my books fast in order to get my balance back so I didn't fall off my chair. And when I did that, the nun turned around like this and she looked right at me and I was like, and she's like, pick up your books. I was like, oh, okay. So I went down and I picked up my books. She goes, put them back on the ground. And I put them back on the ground. And she goes, pick them up again. I picked them up again. And she goes, put them back down. And I put them back down. And she goes, that's how we put our books down in this school. Talk about embarrassed. I was beyond embarrassed. If I was a turtle, I would have never came out of my shell again. I went home that day and I said to my mother, I go, "I'm not going back to that school. I don't give a shit what's going on. I'm not going back there." Well, within 2 weeks, I was out of that school completely. So that's that. Uh, nasty, nasty people sometimes. I'm like, who beat you when you were a kid that you got to be this mean all the time? I don't get it. I don't know why people are like this. Ay, yep, I got out of that one. I ended up going to a different private school, but it was much better. No nuns. Matter of fact, one of the teachers in the other school I went to was a retired nun, or she got kicked out. We don't really know what it was, but she was cool as hell, and, I got along with her really well. Yeah. I'm like, all right. The things we remember, yep. Yeah, these stories come up all crazy. All right, here's what we're gonna do. It's already 10 o'clock, so I'm gonna do a quick reading for somebody. We'll see how it goes. Okay. What I need you to do, this is in the comment section. For those that are watching, please have patience. The person that I pick for this reading, this is a random reading. It's gonna be a direct reading. I do not do spirit led. We don't do that here. Okay, so I'm gonna pick somebody directly. What I need you to do is write down who you would like to connect with. You don't have to do it yet because I can't see it. I don't have my glasses on. So if it's mom, father, son, daughter, uncle, whoever, write down who you want to connect with. I'm going to randomly pick somebody. Once I pick you and I say your name, I need you to write back yes in capital letters. That kind of signifies to our guides that we're going to be making this link, hopefully. And then I'm going to open up to your energy and I'm going to open up to see if that person can come through. I will ask very nicely in my head, so and so would like to connect with you. Can you please step forward? That's kind of what I do all the time. They don't listen to me. They just don't. They do it the way they want to. But this is what I do to be courteous and kind of nice about it and say, okay, hopefully, we can get that person. But stay open. I've had plenty of times where somebody wanted their mom to come through and instead their grandfather came through. Hopefully it'll be somebody, somebody that you recognize and know. If it doesn't, we'll deal with it then. But be okay with whatever happens. Okay. Secondly, do not be nervous. If I pick you and other people are typing stuff, don't don't worry about what they're typing. Right at that moment, it's just you and me doing the reading. Okay. So I'm going to be patient. I'm going to wait for your answer. If it's a no, it's a no. If it's a yes, great. Um, if you can give me more detail than just a yes, because we're doing typing here. So if I'm asking a particular thing about something information wise, don't be just like, yes. Like I need to know where that goes. All right. Or how that applies, because that might bring me to the next thing that's coming through for you. All right. But I'll explain that as we go. That being said, um, names count, health issues, incidents around passing, current events, dates. Dates are big for me. If they give me numbers around the calendar, I don't know why they're big for me because I don't know any dates, but they are. Um, Birthday, anniversary, a passing. If it's a passing, just say that. If I give a date and you go, like, oh, that's when my uncle passed, I'm going to make sure, like, hey, is that their way of bringing the uncle in, or are we just talking about the uncle? So everything that I do in this part of the reading, when I do a private, is about validating who's coming through and to make sure we have them. Okay. So that's what we're going to do here tonight, hopefully. All right. I'm going to pick somebody randomly. And we got it. Sandy. Sandy, Sandy 4597 just wrote father. Sandy. Now I need everybody else to stop typing if you can. This is the best part about YouTube. You guys listen and you're going to stop typing. Sandy, I just need you to write back yes in capital letters. Okay, Sandy just wrote back yes. Everybody else, if you could stop typing, that would be great. I'm going to see if we can get through this as fast as we can. Sandy, just be totally cool. Take your time. If you have to think about something, don't worry about it. Just make sure you're thinking about everything. Okay, hold on. All right, I'm going to open up to you. Let's see what happens. Sandy. Okay. I'm going to assume this is male. I mean, it's not. I'm going to assume this is male. I don't know if it's dad though. The first thing they want me to talk about is somebody connected to you or in the family that actually worked with metal. So was anybody a welder in the family? It doesn't have to be dad, but they want me to talk about somebody working with metals, like either somebody that was a welder or is a welder, or somebody that worked with like HVAC or duct work. But they're showing me like metal, something with metal that they did for a living, and that could be somebody living or past. Usually for me, that would be like a welder or somebody that works, again, with some metal beams or some sort of like uh, girders, anything to do with has to do with metal. And if you're married, don't exclude husband side of the family or wife side of the family. Okay, I like this. They're thinking. So, guys, if you're on here, welcome. I'm just going to try to do a reading for Sandy. She wants to connect with her dad. Um, and I just gave her the first thing they showed me. My son did some welding in cars. Okay, hold on. And why would March or the third of a month be important, Sandy? If they want me to talk about the month of March or the third of a month. So, birthday and anniversaries connected to you in March or the third of any month has a meaning. Right now, I'm just reading Sandy. So, and just because we're on here, Sandy, that could be like a nephew's birthday. It could be an uncle's birthday. I don't care. They just show me March or the third. You're not sure? Okay, hold on. Oh, sorry, Sandy. They're telling me you do. Hold on. Go to. It feels like an anniversary. Somebody's anniversary is in March, or their anniversary is on the third of a month. Okay. Um, I have a niece in March. I have a niece in March. Okay, so a niece's birthday's in March. Hold on a second. And Sandy, did anybody around that family or yours have like a Great Dane or a very, very large dog, like a Great Pyrenees or a Great Dane or a Mastiff? They're showing me a very, very large dog. I would take a sheepdog too. They're huge, or a Saint Bernard. Tremendous dog. This is like really big. Let's see. My uncle had a Great Dane. Okay, and my sister had a Saint Bernard. Perfect. Okay, because they make it feel like. So then I do have a dad. Hold on. And hold on. Let's see if I can get. And where would I put the what feels to me to be like pancreatic cancer, pancreatic cancer around a male as well. Older male, so father, grandfather, uncle, but they're showing me like having pancreatic cancer. And if it's not pancreatic, because we're typing, it's going to be a cancer that would be considered hidden, like a cancer that nobody knew about till it was way too late. So it doesn't feel like a long battle. It just feels like a hard battle, but like kind of fast moving cancer. My brother in law. Okay. So if that's okay, hold on. And where would be like a Jerry? Do you want me to talk about like a Jerry or it's a just sound, but I would take George too. It's like a just sound, but it's not. You know what? It's more like a George. It's more like a George. It's like a just sound, but with a G. So any a name that's a just sound, but with a G in it, not a J. So I would take Jerry with a G or George with a G, but they're showing me like a name like that, connected to either you or around the family as well. And as you see, I like to go one thing at a time so we know we're in the right spot. I don't want to throw four or five things at you and then like the fifth one hits and then we're like, yeah, that's it. And we move on, but we don't know about the other four. I want to take it step by step so we know we have them. This one might be hard. I don't know if you're gonna get this one. It'll make me feel like it's Gerard, Jerry, George. It's like G or it's G with an R. And they're making me feel like it was connected to dad. I have a niece whose husband is Jerry. Hold on a second. Is that a different niece than the other one? Which is the one that's a teacher? I know I'm throwing it quick at you, Sandy, but I just want to show me like either one of the nieces is a teacher or they work in a school. I'm just waiting for Sandy to reply. Okay, not yet. So right now I'm just reading Sandy. So if we could hold comments just for a little longer, we're trying to make a connection with her dad, which I'm not even sure I still have yet. But I do have a dad energy that's coming through for her. But I do believe brother-in-law is there as well. Yes. Okay. Well, what is yeah? So is that all right? So one. Okay. So I asked you if one of the nieces worked in a school. Okay, that's and you said yes. That's all I needed. Okay. So you're answering my question. And hold on. Neither. Hold on a second. Okay, that doesn't feel right. Uh, then I'm gonna have to put it this way: who's the teacher connected to the niece? Like, where would be the teacher connected to the niece? Then they want me to talk about the niece that is connected to teaching. So if neither one of them is the teacher, one of them they have to be from separate families because they're telling me one of them's connected to a teacher or somebody that works in a school. And again, this is a lot harder to do in a comment section. I get it, but and it's a family with 3 kids. So they're adding that in there too. So it's a family with the 3 kids. And one of those three is one of the nieces, and they're telling me they're connected. Neither is a teacher or works in a school. Okay, I get it. They're not a teacher. Who's the teacher connected to them? They show me it's the one with the 3 kids, or the one that's connected to the 3 kids. So I don't know if they're one of three, or they have the one, of, or they have the three, but they're telling me it's around the one with the 3 kids. So think outside of them, around them. Yes, okay. And if I have your dad, he wants me to talk about connected to you. Somebody flies an airplane too. He's talking about somebody having a pilot's license or they work on airplanes. Again, this is my way of wiggling in to get him to come forward. But if I have him, he wants me to talk about somebody connected to you that's a pilot or worked on airplanes or they worked in an airport. I spent many years volunteering in schools and working as a secretary. I have 3 kids. Oh, you were in the school. Okay. So your niece is connected to you. That's dad's way of saying hello to you. That's what I wanted. Okay. You got it. This is how this works. Tell me, like, if she's not the one that works in the school, it's like she's connected to the teacher and there's something around 3 kids. So that would be your dad's way of validating I have him. Now, I need to know who the pilot is. He wants me to talk about somebody like connected to you that either flew an airplane or has a pilot's license or they worked on airplanes. while you're doing that, he's telling me 23 has a meaning too, the number 23. So the 23rd of a month, birthday or an anniversary. Guys, I appreciate your patience. I know this is so slow on the typing part. I mean, it's easy for me. I just get to talk, but Sandy's got to be like, so I can, it can be frustrating for her. I, 23. Doo, doo, doo. I had a cousin who worked for Boeing for years. That's okay. That works. He's actually my mom's cousin. Okay, that's all. Your dad's showing me like somebody that works with airplanes in some way, and he's telling me the 23rd. What would be the 23rd for you? He's saying it again. So there's either got to be like again a birthday or an anniversary on the 23rd, or somebody passed on the 23rd. I would also take if somebody's 23 years old, um, but I'm not feeling too much around that. I'm feeling more like date has a meaning. Mhm. If you're on here for the first time, welcome. My name is Jonathan Lewis. I am a psychic medium. I am doing a reading right now for Sandy, who wants to connect with her dad. Um, if you haven't been on here before, please subscribe to my channel. I go live here on Sunday nights at 9 p.m. Um, okay, Sandy just wrote back. I have another niece and my sister who have birthdays on the 23rd. Perfect. Now, I feel like I have your dad. Okay. Now, the first thing he's showing me and wants to bring up around you is, did you just have a conversation with somebody about getting a generator? Or somebody around you just talked to you about getting a generator on their house or wanting to have a generator put in, feeling like, what if the power goes out? If we don't have power? He's making me feel like there was a recent conversation around getting a generator. Does that make sense for you? And it doesn't mean something bad's going to happen or anything like that. It's more the feeling of like people were talking about getting a generator. He's making me feel like he was there for that conversation. And it would have to be pretty recent. And your mom too's the 23rd? Okay, cool. That's a lot of 23s. That's how I knew I had him. He's like 23, 23. That's why he's saying it again, 23. So you have plenty of people on the 23rd that have meaning for you. Now he just wants to validate the conversation around a generator. Now that could be connected to you, a sibling, but he's being like there was a conversation just had around a generator or wanting to get one. Sandy replied with no, and that's totally fine. You can do that. What I need you to do is have a conversation with, hold on. If your sister, I need you to talk to your sister. Ask her if she had a conversation with somebody about a generator. It might be a way of saying, "Who's Pat for you, Sandy? Who's I want to go back to that. Who's Pat for you?" If she said talk about Pat, oh, welcome, Mama. So Sandy, I just need to know who Pat is because he's kind of making me feel like there's a connection to Pat. Nothing that I know about a generator. Okay, who's Pat for you? This is my validation. That could be Patricia, Pat. I could take Pete because it's a PT name also, if for time purposes here. But I prefer if it's around a Pat. He's making me feel like to bring up the name Pat. So I don't know if he was connected to a Pat or you were connected to a Pat, but he's giving me that name to validate. Pat is a cousin. Okay, that's all I need. And somebody's gonna talk about a generator. He's showing it to me again. It's like almost feeling like it just feels like somebody had a conversation about getting a generator or an alternate power source for the house. Like I don't know where to put it. He's just saying it to it's like saying it over and over, like generator, talk about the generator, getting a generator. So I don't feel like it's somebody who has a generator. And if they do, they want to get a new one or an alternate power source for the house. It doesn't feel like the normal electric. It's like getting something else to create the electric, which to me would be a generator. So he's making me feel like there was a recent conversation around that. So just remember I'm saying that. And he's telling me to bring up uh uh and um and somebody owned a bar. I'm trying to figure out if this is an alcoholic or it's not an alcoholic. It's like somebody owned a bar. He wants me to talk about somebody owning a bar or they worked in the bar. If anybody's relating with some of this information, you can take it as a piggyback, but I'm kind of sticking with Sandy because that's where I'm supposed to be. Uh, Nothing you're aware of? Okay. Hold on. Now I'm seeing all the bottles. There's too many bottles. This is not an alcoholic. This is like a bar. Like either somebody connected to him or you owned a bar or worked in a bar or sold liquor, like a liquor store. I would take that too if somebody owned a liquor store, but he's keep showing me all the liquor. Okay. Remember, I'm saying that. And where would be the emergency gallbladder surgery or emergency appendectomy? Because he's showing me the scar on the lower part of the belly. It feels like it's around older, somebody older. They might still be here. You can take it, Jerome. You know what, Jero? Real quick, while Sandy's doing that, SEO 14. You're resonating with a lot of information. Just let me ask you a question. Connected to your family, would there be like a husky past or a husky connected to the family? Sandy, I don't know about owning a bar, but a few, including myself, have worked at a bar. Yeah, that's it. It's just your dad telling me like he's showing me too many liquor bottles. I'm like, this is not something about being somebody being an alcoholic. It's about somebody either working in a bar or somebody owning a bar. So if you worked in a bar, that's just his way of saying hello to you. And he's telling me again, I feel like somebody's going to bring up something around a generator for you. So remember, I'm saying that when he does, or when that person does that, and they say, "Oh, I was thinking about getting a generator," or we need a generator. That word comes out of somebody's mouth. Know that's your dad's way of saying hello and knowing it ahead of time. Okay. I hope that helped. Jero, yes, a family friend's dog. Okay. They just let me know that you can take that information because they're validating that the Huskies passed too, right, Jero? If I'm saying your name wrong, I'm sorry. I don't mean to jump readings, but I just wanna if there's so many things validating for you, I wanna validate that you can take it by getting you something extra. Yes, many years ago. Okay, cool. And Jerome, do you have a connection for the 17th of a month? That's all I would need around this. Like birthday or an anniversary, connect to the family around 17. Sandy, my mother had emergency gallbladder surgery when she was pregnant with my sister many years ago. Okay, that's it. Because your dad's highlighting the emergency gallbladder surgery or something around and it felt like emergency. So it'd be his way. If mom's still here, and I don't know if she is or not because I'm not feeling it. If mom's still here, it's his way of saying hello to her. If she's passed, it's his way of bringing her into the reading. Okay. I hope that helped a little bit, Sandy. Please know he's okay. And Sandy, you can type on here anytime you want to. So if something comes up about a generator the next day or two, please just write back, hey, the thing came up around the generator. That's all I would want, okay? And Jero wrote, yes, my mom's best friend's birthday. Okay, that's all. Jero, you can take that information as well. It's just their way of adding to it to let us know that that makes sense for you. And this way you can feel like, yeah, that makes sense. That was my family's way of saying hello to me as well. And Jero, also around you, there's a conversation about either you wanting to change your job, like you want to change your job, or you're talking about changing your job. They're just throwing that in there because it's a feeling of like highlighting like you have support or you have support around you right now. You're not on your own, but there's a feeling of like wanting to change the job or shift the job. Yes, talked to my dad about it a few days ago. Okay, that's it. You can take the info. All right. Again, I want to just back you up. Sandy, I hope this helped as well. Guys, if you're wanting to do like something where it's not on conversation like this and we're actually talking face to face, please go check out my Zoom groups. Okay. I have one coming up. It's April. Shoot, I've lost it. Oh, there it is. April 30th. I have 2 spots left. Okay. And then that's on a Thursday night. And then I have the full Zoom group on May 24th. That's on a Sunday morning, 11 to 2 p.m. Um, Sandy just wrote, she's still here. Thank you. Okay, cool. So that's his way of saying hello to her. Okay. Awesome. You're welcome, Sandy. And I have a Zoom group again, like I said, on May 24th. That's a Sunday from 11 to 2. All right, guys. I was pleasure talking to you and seeing you tonight. I will see you again next week. Sorry this went a little long. I was trying to keep it under an hour, but that was never going to happen. You guys are awesome. I appreciate you being here. Thanks for the follows. Or I should say, thanks for the subscriptions or the subscribing. I wanted to sound like I'm not from Boston when I said that. And I will see you guys next time. Okay. Everybody have a great night. Have a great week too. Hang in there. It's almost over. Oh, wait. Tomorrow's Monday. Sorry. You got a whole week ahead of you.